So, tell me if you've heard this one before. Sephiroth and Chrono walk into a bar. No, this is not a setup for a horrible fanfiction. This is the hack and slash dungeon crawler Soma Bringer. Similar to Ash, I had heard about this game and was waiting for the big end to bring it over. But for some reason, they don't like us having nice things. Fortunately, years later, fans have taken the time to translate the game into English. It would seem where Nintendo don't, the fans do. Yes, I know that was horrible, and I apologize for nothing. I've been meaning to do this review for like my 1000th video special, but as of this video, I think I'm like on like 1006 or 10 by now. Oops. My horrible planning aside, please sit back and enjoy my review of Soma Bringer for the Nintendo DS. Soma Bringer was created by Monolith Soft and published by Nintendo on February 2008. Monolith was started by ex-Square Soft employees who wanted more creative freedom. Their first major title was Namco's Xenosaga series on PS2. Eventually, the company was sold to Nintendo. Since then, they've grown and now make the popular Xenoblade Chronicles games, as well as help out the Big N on more ambitious projects. Soma Bringer was the first game they made under the Big N, and certain elements from it can be seen in their current titles. The game takes place in a fantasy world powered by a magical substance called Soma. Its discovery ushered in a new age of prosperity for man, and is used in everything from household appliances to weapons of war. However, all is not well in this world. Shadowy creatures known as visitors appear and attack humans. These creatures can possess plants and animals, making them into monsters that are powerful and aggressive towards people. The story revolves around a military unit that was made specifically to hunt down and destroy visitors. On a routine mission, the ragtag group stumbles upon a mysterious girl with... Actually, I'm gonna let you guys guess this one. Does she have A strong, amazing, scene-stealing personality that adds a lot to the plot? B, a chain-smoking monkey with a French accent and really badass one-liners? Or C, amnesia and mysterious powers that she remembers how to use mysteriously at a very convenient moment? As much as I would love it to be B, God knows we need more badass French monkeys in games. The answer is C, amnesia and mysterious powers. With her abilities pointing the way, the group traveled across the world completing missions, fighting visitors, exposing government conspiracies, and unraveling a 1,000-year-old tragedy. I got to admit, I wasn't expecting much story-wise, but it was really amazing. It had many great and memorable characters, plot twists that caught me completely off guard, and excellent, menacing, yet sympathetic villains that remind me more of some baddies from more recent Monolith Soft games. But that's a discussion for another video. Gameplay-wise, Soma Bringer is a loot-based action-adventure dungeon crawler / RPG similar to Diablo. Starting out, you can choose to play as one of 7, later 8, characters. Each one can then be assigned one of 6 classes. Let's see here, reading off the wiki page here. The classes include Battlers, warriors that focus on melee attacks, Dark Knights that sacrifice health to deal greater damage, Gunners that are good at long-range attacks, Kanbus, or ninjas, that are good with dual weapons and one-hit strikes, Chaos or Paladins that have good attack and healing skills, and Somas, who are basically mages and use long-range elemental spells. Each class has their own unique attack styles, abilities, and weapons. This can add a decent amount of replay value, as playing a different class will make you approach battle differently than a previous one. As far as I can tell, you can't switch to another class or character once the game starts, and the plot stays the same regardless of who you choose. Exploration and combat are controlled from a top-down view, similar to that of classic Mana games. While in towns or at your base, you can buy armor, weapons, and upgrades for your party members. You can also talk with them and other NPCs, as well as accept side missions. While in a stage or dungeon, you'll travel across areas such as lush forests, frozen ice fields, and military bases, all the while mowing down waves of foes, collecting all kinds of loot, and taking down epic bosses. Fights happen in real time, with each of your attacks mapped to one of the 4 face buttons. By defeating enemies, you gain experience and can level up. When you do, you get experience points that can be put into and increase your stats. You also gain ability points that can be spent to upgrade your special attacks, spells, and status buffs. As you attack an enemy, they will receive break damage. When enough damage is done, and an attack that has a break effect is used, an enemy will enter a break state. When in a break state, enemies will be stunned for a short time, leaving them open to attack. They will also receive double the damage, so this is the time to really hammer them. There are extra break effects that can launch a foe into the air, juggle them to keep them airborne, as well as slam them into the ground for massive damage. This system may be familiar to those of you that played the original Xenoblade Chronicles. It seems that game borrowed and improved upon this one's systems. Mastering the break system can turn the tides of battle and make you feel like a total badass. You control your chosen character and can have 2 AI members fight alongside you. The AI was pretty decent for the most part. You may need to pay more attention to their health when fighting tougher bosses, but overall, they're good on their own. Though I wasn't able to test it myself, it seems the game has a co-op mode. Through it, 3 players are able to team up and take on the game together. I can imagine if you found a group or if this had online, it would be a blast to play through. In some stages, there are stronger versions of enemies. Beat them, and you have a chance to receive a powerful, rare weapon you can't buy from the shop. I think I got really lucky early on. Near the beginning of the game, I got a really good axe that had some really crazy stats on them. By updating it, I was able to use that same axe for dang near the entire game. So, taking the time to kill these tougher foes is really worth the risk. When your main character dies, they lose a portion of their experience. It can be reclaimed by making it back to where you died and touching the tombstone that was placed over where you fell. This gives the game a bit of a Dark Souls-y risk and reward system. But playing through normal mode, I rarely died. I can see this being more important in the tougher difficulties. Oh, speaking of which, once you beat the game, you unlock Extreme Mode. In this mode, you carry over your level, status, and equipment, but the enemies are way tougher, and you're able to get better loot. After this is Master Mode, which I'm assuming is even harder, but I'm playing this by myself, and I am not a masochist, so screw that. You also unlock 3 extra missions with tougher enemies and bonus character development. Nothing too impactful in the game's main story, but nice to have the extra challenge. The graphics are really good for a DS game. The background uses 2D hand-drawn art that is bright and colorful, and has a kind of a watercolor effect to it. Characters and enemies also use nicely detailed and well-animated 3D models. There are also a lot of very neat details, such as how changing weapons will actually show it on the character. The music in this game is freaking fantastic. It was composed by, once again, I cannot speak Japanese very well, so just bear with me here. Yasunori Mitsuda, whose works include Chrono Trigger, Xenogears, Kid Icarus Uprising, and of course the Xenoblade series. The game was only released in Japan, but an English patch was created by, from what I could find, someone named Darth Nemesis. So, thank you, Darth. Appreciate it. The version I played had all the major plot points translated. The only thing that wasn't was a few NPC conversations and the data logs. Besides that, the main story can be played all the way to the end in English. If you want a physical copy, the prices seem to range from $13 used to $80 sealed. I freaking loved Soma Bringer. This was an amazing game and another example of a great hidden gem that is stuck in Japan. It lasted over 20 hours, has fun hack and slash gameplay, an amazing story and soundtrack, great character customization, and tons of replay value. Seriously though, what the heck, Nintendo? This was an awesome game. Do you not want my money? Though I suppose this was made during the Wii period, where they were focusing more on the casual market. I mean, with stuff like Carnival games outselling ones like Metroid Prime 3, I guess I can't really blame them for not wanting to take the risk. Still, I'm very mad about it though. With Monolith doing so good recently, I was hoping this would get either like a re-release or like a remake on the Switch, but Diablo is actually on the Switch now, so I doubt this will ever happen. A man can dream. Once again, I want to thank you all for watching. I am now at over 730 subscribers, and it's all thanks to you. Your comments and kind words encourage me to keep going, and I'm very thankful. Next goal, 800. So, if you enjoyed the review, like and subscribe. This has been Mega Blade J, and I'll see you all next mission. Bye. While in towns or at your base, you can buy armor, weapons, and upgrade your pronunciate my words. Gotta talk normal, I talk too fast, blah. I could see this being more important in the tougher. You also gain ability points that can be spent to upgrade your special attacks, spells, and status buffs. Status buffs. Blah.